Paw-Paw, thank you. Thank you for today. I want to ask you about your time in the Army before you went to Japan for the Korea War. Like, what happened?
Well, not really anything other than just being drafted into the service.
Like, what was it like when you got drafted? Like, how did you get drafted?
Well, that's when they were doing draft. Few people volunteered, but I was drafted
Okay.
and went to El Paso, Fort Bliss, and stayed there for
I have
five,
this
six,
right, yeah.
5 or 6 months, and then was sent to Camp Stoneman, California, and left there and went to Japan.
And I remember you told me you went by boat. How long did it take to get there?
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
What did you guys do to pass the time?
Well, past the time, we played dominoes, and everybody on the ship had something to do. I had one little step from one floor to the other, which was about 2.5 feet wide, and that was my job to keep that one step clean until we got over there. That was my job. Some of the guys worked in cafeterias. Some was guards at night because we had some civilians on there on the ship too, and it was about 2,000 of us, 2,700 of us say on that ship. And we left and from Camp Stoneman, went out by Alcatraz, right on through that way, into Alaska on into Japan.
Oh, so it wasn't a straight line.
No,
So you had to
no,
go like,
no, 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 it wasn't. It
wow.
wasn't. But we spent just X amount of hours there in Alaska, and then that was it for the next 2 weeks. It took us that long to get there. But the amazing thing I saw was being 11 o'clock at night, and the sun was still up.
Oh,
International date line. That was new for me.
it's like, wait a minute.
Yeah,
Late.
yeah. That we would have to wait until the sun, because they on the ship we watched the movies and it would be on the deck, but we had to wait until the sun go down so it'd be dark enough to see on the deck.
Yeah, but it seemed like by the time the sun goes
Yes,
down,
yes.
you're like, oh, I'm too tired for this.
Yeah, you sit there and you watch the water go by as you go by, and you wake up the next morning, seem like you're in the same spot. It was really something, but I enjoyed it. Yeah. Well,
So, and I remember at one point you said you got a letter in the mail, you get drafted, you go in there and do that. Um, when you got to Japan, you got 2 weeks later, you go to Japan, you stopped off in Tokyo, right?
yeah, yeah, I was in Tokyo. Yeah, Tokyo. I was in,
Eh,
but I went to Yokohama first,
mm,
and that's where that camp's. Well, I can't think of the name of that camp now. That's been a long time.
and when you were there, when you went to Japan, you were there, what year was it?
I believe it was in '54.
54. And what did Japan look like then?
Well, just like any other crowded city, it was nice. People are nice there.
Mm.
They are friendly. They were real friendly, and it was just I wasn't lonesome for home because people were so friendly there.
Oh, so it kind of felt like home?
Yes, yes, yeah. Of course, you got your friends in the service too. I was like we went. It was a buddy system. In other words, when you go in there, assign three more guys with you, and they all stay with each other to you end of your service.
Hmm.
And so that's how I go. I don't know which one of us had to go overseas. The others have to follow them. You have to go wherever the one go, the other go. And we got over there and we stayed together. Well, until we got out. Really sure did.
And so my question is, so when you were there as a communicator, you say communicator, right?
I was in communication, yeah.
And what was basically your job?
A radio operator mostly.
Okay.
No, that's in other words, our CP, everything came through it. Radar picked something up, they called it straight into that, and we call the guys in, they come in and they could tell you exactly what plane it is, and get it identified.
From my understanding of the Korean War, there was a time where the North Koreans had just overwhelmed the South Koreans, but then I think when you guys got drafted and y'all guys went over there, everything started to change. Do you recall that particular moment?
Uh, Not really. I hadn't thought a whole lot about it, since I've been out. I was just so glad it's over with and we got out. But my brother went. He was in Korea. He went on to Korea. He was over there same time I was in Japan. And
So what I want to know is why was it that you were in Japan but he was in Korea?
I have no idea. That's just the way. One of the other guys was where he's supposed to go, and so that's where I had to go because the buddy system. You stay with them. You're not
Okay.
friends. So I
Uh,
went there.
and so when you're working as a communicator, like what time did you start work
Well,
and
now,
how did what was the
well,
process
now
like?
my particular job. Some of the guys went to motor pool and stuff like that, but they put me in communication, and I would work 6 hours and off 24. In other words, if I go at 6 o'clock this morning, I'd work until noon, and I'd stay off. Well, noon I go home. The next day I come in at 12 and work till 6 that evening, and it just go round and round the clock like that. I work.
Oh, okay.
That's the way mine was. But the one that worked out on the guns and what have you like that, well, I really don't know how their shift was. I know they would have to come all the way in to in there to the mess hall where eat, and they movies they had to come in on the way in to see the movies or anything they do they'd have to come into town. They would live out. I remember the first time I went downtown. I was sent up north for 7, 8 months in a small town. I decided I want to go downtown. Well, I could walk off. We were attached to the Air Force. I was in the Army, but we were attached to the Air Force. And when you get to the gate, you were already in town. You just walk through the gate and you just go out the gate and you're there. And the first time I went downtown by myself in my sidewalk, I got lost. And got to walking that night, and I walked so far till I couldn't even see the city lights.
Oh.
And I walked up on a little church, and I turned around and went back the way I came in there. I went just straight to the gate, and you could go. I never did see that church anymore. That was amazing. It was.
Is
Yeah.
God saying, "Hey, you're going too far"?
Yeah. I was lost. I was trying to get back to. I got into that thing.
So when you were in Japan, what would you say? What was a something that was a culture shock to you?
Well, to see everything I don't know what it could be unless it's the trains and the boxcars and thing was so small. And I had never seen a motorcycle pickup before, anything like that. That was amazing to me. See a three-wheeler and one of them a motorcycle, and it was everybody should go there for a little while anyway, just to see what is different.
But what would you do for fun in Japan?
It's basically the same thing you do here. Just they play all kinds of sports you can go see. And yeah, I never will forget when I went to see a boxing match. Boxing match. It was kickboxing. I didn't know it. I'd never seen that before. I said, boy, these people are kicking people. I said, they don't even know anything about boxing.
That was just your first time ever seeing something
Yeah,
like
I'd never
that.
seen anything like that. But I found out that the children's play basically the same thing they play here in the United States. Hop around ring around the roses, sing a little tune, but you know what they're saying. And it's basically the same thing. But as far as you get homesick, you're going to do that. And but I wrote letters home pretty often. And that kind of kept me going, and till it was time to get away from that place. So
And you were.
but I enjoyed it.
But how many months did you say you were there again? 6, 7,
No, I was in Japan about 18 months.
18 months. Okay.
I was in Japan about 18 months. And of course, I had to get used to it. If you're going to leave home, you take your raincoat with you because it's going to rain before you get back. Wouldn't be. And I heard, out of the 18 months there, I heard thunder twice. It was just little showers and then just a little mist all day. You need your raincoat if you leave home, especially up in the northern part. I was in the northern part of Japan. You see, Misawa.
And would you say that I think it was like usually around June, July? It was like during the hot months when it would just rain.
It that was they had their raining season. Just that's like we do here really, but it was different. Theirs was everyday thing. Just a little mist. In other words, you take your raincoat with you because.
What did you feel when you ate Japanese food for the first time?
Well,
Or do you remember what you ate?
no, really, I didn't. Other than fish, that's not just the Japanese food, but they try to fix everything that if you go downtown stuff like that, they try to fix everything American like more or less than Japanese food,
Really? Okay.
and they eat basically the same thing they eat here.
Now, were you married? Were you and Grandma
No,
married
no,
at the time? Not
no,
not
I wasn't
time.
married. No, I married soon after I got out.
Oh, okay, okay. Now, when you came back home from Japan, what habits from Japan do you remember bringing back home?
Oh my land, it's not that much different. Oh, that's for.
Well, I think because you were on base.
Well, one thing I have it. I started smoking. I got
Oh,
back. No, I didn't. I really didn't have any habits that I would consider that I didn't do already at home. So it's.
now I asked that because there was an old comic that I found from the 50s
Mm-hmm.
where they would show a life of a military man that was stationed in Japan. American military. He would come home from Japan, and he brought like a lot of Japanese habits with him from Japan, like sitting with the family together
Mm-hmm.
around a having like the tatami mats. They would sit like the Japanese style,
Oh.
like that, or they would announce when they were leaving, say "tadaimas," like that. You recall hearing that? Hearing a lot of
Yeah, trying to fold up and sit down on the floor like that. It is something else to do, man. But that I wasn't used to do it like that. They kind of fold their legs on them and sit down. But uh, sit around the heat, it's coming up out of the floor there.
Oh yeah, the floor heating. You remember
Yeah,
that?
yeah. They put a cloth over across and then they have it over the heater type coming up out of a hole in the middle of the house.
Mm.
And you sit there and you talk and drink coffee, uh, tea, whatever they're gonna drink there, and just 4 or 5 people sitting around at one table, and you all folded up under that, where that heat would come up through that way, and that was kind of hard to get used to because that folding up getting under there,
Mm-hmm.
and it was that was the hardest thing on me.
Something like that. No, I remember that when I first did it. And I said, I can't get used to this. Thing I did like though was the floor heating.
Pro heating, yeah,
They still do that in Korea.
yeah. I'm sure they do it. I'm sure they do a lot of stuff like that still in Japan. They hadn't over the years that the United States was there, and they hadn't changed a whole lot.
Well, I remember off camera we talked about baseball. Baseball was still
Oh
king.
man, they love that baseball. They work all day. 5 o'clock, you see them grab their glove and they gone to the field for the baseball field, man. Man, they love that baseball. Because that was new to them, new to them. They didn't play baseball. Man, and the school, they had a school there on the base, and it was just it was attached to the base, but it was a Japanese school, and it was just right there right there on the base with us.
Mm.
In fact, it's just right across the street from me by the gym. I used to go to the gym over there and work out in that gym, because it was for the soldiers' families and stuff like that, was there. And that's the first time I'd seen girls play the full court in basketball.
Wow.
I used to play half court, be three on they guards on one end, and the other team, all the teams forwards. So they'd have three forwards and nothing. And man, that I saw that. I didn't know. I said, these people way behind. We way ahead. Boy, I don't know.
When did you ever have any Japanese friends over there?
Friends?
Friends, yeah.
Yes, I had lots of Japanese friends.
Who was one person that you recall very well that you had a really good relationship with?
A guy called Goonie. He's about 6'3". Unusual.
Japanese guy?
Japanese guy.
Wow.
And he was just, man, he worked on the base, but we just had a good time together, friend. He was a good friend to everybody. And he liked to fish. And he was just a good guy. He's just a good guy. Whenever we off or anything like that, we kind of get together, go downtown, just young men, you know.
Oh, that reminds me with fishing. Did you ever do like tuna fishing with anybody?
No, I didn't get out there in that deep water.
They have a thing where you can go out at 3 o'clock in the morning and go hang out with the fishers, go fishing with them, and then get everything because they would have people waiting in line for tuna.
Yes. Now, I never did go out there, but I would see them in the morning. But when they pull those nets in, they pull them in by hand. Everybody in the community gets there, and they got the ropes, and they pull back, and then when you get so far back, you could turn that loose and go to the end, and the other one, like that. And they get those things in like that, pull them in by hand. And that was something to see. I don't know. Take them all. Everybody in the community, in that community, we get out there and pull those boats over, pull the nets in. There's something to see.
A lot of how Japan is in the past, it seems like they still kind of do some of those things today. But when I look at it now, it feels like they're stuck in the 1980s. That's pretty much when they kind of stopped growing.
Oh yeah, but when I was over there, they began to catch on with the American style. They wanted to live like the people in the United States. They wanted that real bad. I guess they'd heard some good stories about the place.
Did you ever go to a professional baseball game when you were there?
No. They played baseball on well, and not the professional. These was just communities or whatever baseball team.
Oh, they still do that.
Yeah. They'd have a lot of the baseball teams right there on the post. You see, they let them come in there and play baseball. That was more or less the guys that worked on the at the post anyway. Yeah, camp.
And so when your 18 months finished, what was something?
Tacoma, Washington. I went to Tacoma, Washington.
Oh, Tacoma?
I went into Tacoma, Washington. And I was there probably 2 or 3 weeks. And then I got discharged there. And caught the train. Here I go. Home.
Oh, wait. So you took the train back?
Yeah.
How long did the train take from there to here?
I left there on a Friday evening. And I got to Longview about 9 o'clock Monday.
Ooh.
Yeah, because I had to spend some time in Colorado. That's where I layover was and the train. And I went on to Fort Worth. Got to Fort Worth, and the conductor said, "You going to Longview, Texas?" I said, "That's your train right over there." Said, "You can catch it right here if you want to." So man, I went on, got on there, and man, I can't.
He's like, "I'm done with this. I'm ready to go home."
This, man, yeah. And it brought me on to Gladewater, and that's what I got out, me and my bag, and got out on the highway, thumbing home. Cause I didn't write anybody and tell them I was fixing to come home.
So
I wanted to surprise them, but I didn't know I was gonna have to get out and thumb, so I could get home. But I went out there for about 10 minutes. A guy picked me up. And he was coming to get me from somewhere. I don't know.
What about Uncle Melvin? When did he come back?
He got out. He went to Korea. I guess maybe a month before I came from Japan. And he had, I don't remember really how much time he had. Well, at least a couple of years. He hadn't been in long. That was his first trip out of Texas, I think. In fact, I don't know where he's taking his base. I really don't. We never did talk that. If we did, it didn't I don't remember it. That's a long time.
No, I understand that. It was over
Yeah,
70 some odd years.
shoot, yeah, that's a long time.
But it's so amazing to hear that you had such an adventure like that as a young
Yes,
man.
yes. And then too, after I, they put me on the boxing team.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because
And
Dad said that you were a boxer.
I was a boxer, even in El Paso. And I was on the boxing team, and I remember the time. I can't remember the place we were out from Masawa. We flew to another place to fight, and got rid of the land. There was so much ice on the ground till we had to keep circling the field. And man, that's the first time I'd been in something like that. And got there, and that night, well, the next day we all had to go weigh in and all that kind of stuff. And that night, we got in there to box. And they announced where you were from and everything, and they said, Norris Webb from Gilmer, Texas. Man, all they want to say about it said, kill that Texan, kill it. And it seemed like everybody in there was solid that. And he tried his best to.
What weight class were you? Do you recall?
Middleweight.
Middleweight? Okay.
But see, at my height, those guys could be my weight and be 3 or 4 inches taller. They got to reach on you. So I wasn't 59, 60 pounds. I think I weighed 157, which would be the same thing. You fighting the same weight. But some of the guys are good. I didn't lose all of them, though.
What was your record when you finished?
I didn't have but 8 fights. I think I won 4. 4-4, I believe, is what it was.
Okay, well, you went 500. That's something.
Yeah, Green. See, some of them guys has been in service. I say that 20 years stuff, and like they've been boxing and stuff. They've been getting that special service, and they stay at one place for if they're good boxers.
Mm-hmm.
So each camp is in competition with the next camp.
Now, wait, why were you in boxing camp? Was that for military? Or what was that for?
No, that was military.
Oh, okay.
Boxing for the military, and we just competed with other military, other people in the military. We didn't get out as civilians and fight, but you couldn't tell the difference. There'd be so many people there.
True.
Oh man, yeah.
When you think of boxing back then, and then you look at boxing now, do you think a lot of it has evolved, or is it kind of the same?
Well, it's basically about the same thing, and not a whole lot more you can add to that. But
And you were boxing before Muhammad Ali came around.
yeah, oh yeah, yes, yeah, oh yeah, yeah. I got a little age on him. There was plenty about it out long in the end. And everybody waited around for the fight Wednesday night and Friday night.
And we still kind of got that today, in a
It's
way.
still like that, yeah.
It's still like that. We're just on ESPN with all the top fights these days.
Yeah.
And I still find it hilarious that you thought that when you first saw kickboxing for the first time, you was like, "Wait, this ain't boxing, but it's more kicking."
Yeah.
Did you at least see any good knockdowns? Oh wait, you never stuck around for those fights, did you?
Nah. Usually when you get through with your fight, you're ready to go anywhere unless you expecting to fight one of the other guys later on.
True. No, I mean when you were watching kickboxing, when you were just like, ugh.
Oh, I left there.
Ew, this isn't fighting. What is it?
I said, these people don't even know how to box. I didn't know such things as kickboxing. That same way about the girls' basketball. I said, they don't know how to play basketball. The girls playing the whole full court like boys, I never seen that before.
So, one last thing I want to ask: how long did it take you to adjust to civilian life after the war?
Well, it didn't take long. Of course, basically, you in service with the guys from the United States, and and the people there in Japan, they had taken so much from the United States, trying to be like the people from the United States. Until it's basically the same thing. You watch the same movies, because I probably at that particular time, I'd say 60% of the people who could speak English by then,
Oh, okay.
And you just felt at home, and then you're gonna be there for a while. You knew it wasn't home, but you had basically the same thing there. They had country to western bands. Man, you think that Roy Cup. You going walking down the street.
That still kind of blows my mind. What I've noticed when I was in Japan, it was kind of like that too, 60%, or it was 50-50 people either speak English or Japanese. But if you go to the countryside, it's mostly 99% Japanese.
Japanese, that's right. Right, you're right.
And it's like you have to really know I have a friend to help you out and stuff. You even can't read a book and be like, oh, sumimasen, konbini doko desu ka? Like, where's the convenience store?
You know,
Do you remember how much the yen was back then?
360 yens makes $1.
Whoa!
360 yen was $1.
Wow!
And all their money was paper, even the pennies.
But it's so amazing to hear from your perspective of what it was like in your time in the war. I remember I asked Uncle Melvin that over 20 years ago now. I got it on paper. I wish I did video before I left, before he passed away, and at least get y'all guys' perspective. But I wanted to get your perspective of your time.
Well, I wish I was more prepared for it and everything like that, but I answer do the best I can with you ask me.
No, this works. I want this, and I thank you for your time, Paw-Paw. I thank you.
One of these days we might go back over there.
You know what? I hope. Do you still have your military credentials?
No, but most thing you need is your serial number.
Yeah.
And that's one thing you do not forget. You have to say it so much.
You know what? I bet you anything, you probably still have your record.
It's on record.
Yeah, because I think if you were to if you had your military ID card and we were to go to Japan, you could still go on base today.
Yeah.
You could probably still go on base anywhere.
Yeah, because all you have to use that when you do anything. Then they want you to have that number. Make sure that you the right person.
Yeah, I think we should. You
get paid anything. You got that serial number.
I know you're afraid of. You're not big on flying, and I wish we could fly you. You and I could fly to Japan together.
You enjoy Japan, huh?
I do.
Yeah.
I think
everybody, if they get a chance, they should go.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that is not in my bucket list.
But I think if you were to go today, I think you would love it. You would greatly like it. You'd be shocked at how much technology. Yeah, how much has changed with the technology, the buildings, and the food.
People are friendly.
Yeah, they're still friendly. They're still very friendly.
I tell you what, I wasn't expecting to see as many American cars in Japan as there were. Fords and Chevrolets, the cabs, Ford, Chevrolet, gas companies, Gulf, and all that bunch. I didn't realize there was anything like a Pepsi Cola, Coca-Cola. I mean, it's downtown.
Yeah, and they have a lot of their own stuff now.
K-Wheeler, yeah.
The only foreign car I know of that's popular in Japan is still Ford. They love Ford. They love Mustangs. They love them Mustangs.
Yeah.
But they still got their own. So like Nissan.
I tell you something else that kind of surprised me too. I get a map. If you're going from one little town to another one, and you get that map, you get out there and it's a dirt road. Like sand flying everywhere, man. That's right. You can't tell that it's a dirt road till you get out there on it.
It's what's this? But yeah, you really don't. I didn't see any, not even in the countryside when I went there.
Yeah, it's changed a lot since then, I'm sure.
I have a friend. Well, I had a friend. Her family owned a cave that was there for 500 years.
Cave.
The cave. And yeah, there for 500 years. They still, and it's used as a tourist spot now. And I went inside of it. It was so tiny, like I had to crouch down just to walk through it.
Yeah.
Because it was just so small. It was still fascinating to really witness these days. But Paw-Paw, thank you for your time today.
Yeah.
I wanted to get this as a video to remind you.
Oh, okay. I forgot about it. Look at
We're just so into it.
Yeah,
into it.
I forgot to look at that thing.
But thank you, Paw-Paw. I appreciate you today.
You're welcome. You're welcome, Tom.
Still got a firm grip.